Make America stupid again. So I'm sure most of you have heard by now that Oregon's liberal governor Kate Brown signed into law a bill which would lower the proficiency requirements for high school graduation for subjects like reading, writing, and math. Okay, now I'm sure that when I was in high school, this news probably would have delighted me. However, as a more responsible adult who knows how important it is to be able to read and write, at least at a somewhat basic level, it's very important. It's this kind of these kinds of policies are what just reaffirms for me that the Democrats do not care at all about our country and especially about our kids and especially about people of color. Let's go through the article here real quick from the New York Post. So this is Kate Brown, just as woke as could possibly be. Um, Oregon governor signs bill suspending math reading requirements for high school graduates. Okay, now if we scroll down here a little bit further to this highlighted portion, right? And this is what I suspected all along, okay? Because this is how the left operates. This is what they do. This is how they try to get votes. Is they try to convince a certain portion of the population, certain groups of people, that they are oppressed, that life is unfair, that Republicans, white Republicans especially, are bad, evil, horrible, racist people, and the only salvation they have from people like us is to vote them into office so that they can quash systemic racism once and for all. Charles Boyle, the deputy communications director from Brown's office, Kate Brown's office, told the paper in an email that the staff from the governor's office informed legislative staffers about the bill signing on the day it was passed. He also said that the new standards for graduation will help benefit the state's Black, Latino, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian, Pacific Islander, tribal, and students of color. So there you have it. Now, I don't know why they put Asian in there because statistically speaking and traditionally speaking, Asian people completely blow every other race out of the water when it comes to academics. When it comes to test scores, they score off the charts compared to everybody else. Okay, that's why Asians are having such a hard time now getting into some schools is because of the affirmative action critical mass policies that a lot of liberal schools have in order to uh, admit people of color based solely on their race, not on any academic achievement or merit whatsoever. So, probably something they need to correct in their next article, however, or excuse me, not in the article, but Charles Boyle, his quote. Now, here's my problem. Why exactly? Who is this going to help, and how is it going to help them? Okay, they say it's going to help students of color, but why? Why is lowering the academic standard for students of color, or how is that going to help them? How's it going to help them after they graduate high school with a fourth grade reading and writing level? Okay. Now, math I get is difficult. I get it. It is. But some of it, at least basic arithmetic skills, are a necessity for everyday life when you are an adult. You have to be able to add and subtract and do some pretty simple division and multiplication, some percentages, uh, adding and subtracting percentages, things like that. Those things are necessary. But reading and writing are probably two of the most important skills that you can have as a human being. We live in a society where our lives sort of revolve around relationships. We're relationship oriented. That's what human beings are, and you have to be able to communicate clearly. And you don't do that by lowering performance standards for high school students in those particular subjects. Okay, so what exactly is the disadvantage here for students of color in high school? Okay, compared to because didn't say that this was going to benefit white kids. Okay, because it's not going to benefit anybody. Let's just be real. But what exactly they don't identify what the disadvantage is for students of color when it comes to subjects like that. Now, either you're saying that students of color are not intellectually as capable of performing well on reading and writing tests. Okay, now if you're saying that, you're a racist, right? To say that person of color, based on the color of their skin, based on their race, is not as intellectually capable of performing well on reading and writing tests as white students, then you're racist. Now, but they don't come out and say that. But what they also don't come out and say is what I believe the truth to be is that in certain cultures, like Black culture, Hispanic culture, they don't place a lot of emphasis or priority on education. There's a lot of Black kids who don't graduate high school. Okay, it's because they don't go to class. It's not that they're not capable of understanding and comprehending the material and the curriculum or doing the work. It's just that they don't do it. They don't go to class. They don't turn in their assignments. So they don't get the grades necessary to graduate. So instead of saying, hey, you need to start going to class, you need to stop skipping school, you need to do your assignments and turn them in, they just say, well, we're going to go ahead and lower the standard so that we can just graduate them and get it over with. That's not how you do things. That's not how you produce the next generation of competent, skilled young Americans who are supposed to take care of our country's future, who are supposed to be the next next generation of elected officials, who are supposed to bring the United States to the world stage and say this is what we have to offer. Not only are we telling young men that they're not allowed to be young men, and when they grow up to be adults that they're not allowed to be men, because that is toxic, right? Masculinity is toxic. But now we're also telling them that it's okay if you're stupid. It's okay if you don't know how to read. It's okay if you can't write your own name. It's okay if you can't do some simple addition. Where are they going to get a job without these very basic skills? See, here's the other problem that you're going to see is that these students are going to graduate because they've set the bar so low. They're going to graduate all these students, and they're not going to have any of these skills required by employers for them to want to hire these people, okay? So they're going to go apply for a job, and assuming that they can even read the application and fill it out properly, the employer is going to say, well, okay, so you read at a fourth grade level, you can't do any addition or subtraction. I mean, you're going to be running the cash register, so that's going to be a problem. You're going to be waiting tables, and you're going to have to you're going to have to calculate tips and add up the items on their check and things like that. And you're going to have to be able to talk to people. Now, reading and writing is very important, and the more proficient you become at reading and writing, that translates into how well you speak to other people and how well you can articulate your thoughts in a clear and fluid manner. I mean, I can't think of any other job, I mean, outside being a farmer, who works alone all by himself in rural America, where you don't have to interact with people on a daily basis. There aren't very many of those jobs. But the problem is, people want those types of jobs. They want the types of jobs where they are seen as important and they are valued, and they want to promote up through the echelons of the hierarchy of whatever business or corporation or university or government entity that they might work for. They expect all those things. They think that they are entitled to those things, even when they lack basic skills like reading, writing, and math. So you're not doing anybody any favors by lowering the bar, setting the standard so low that you only have to go to class half the days out of the school year in order to graduate and not turn in any assignments. It's just ridiculous. So what's interesting here is that in this article, you can see right here in this line. So the Oregonian did an article on this. They reported on this, and it says from the Oregonian, the paper's editorial staff urged Brown to veto the bill back in June. So you have an Oregonian newspaper reaching out to the governor's office going, please, for the love of God, veto this bill. This is not good. It's dangerous. It's a disaster. It is not good for our young people. It's not good for our nation's future. Please don't do it. And she did it anyway, right? Because she's woke. And that's all that matters these days, is being woke, right? Is catering to a group of people who believe that despite every luxury and privilege they have to succeed in this country and to make life easy, are oppressed and treated unfairly. And we have to cater to those people and make them feel as though they are valid in their complaints and then their imagined slights. So, well done. Congratulations to the left once again. You guys are just absolutely winning. You're breeding the next generation of absolutely stupid people.